Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today we are watching a clip from a movie featuring two singers I haven't heard before. This is Jorge Negrete and Pedro Infante in the movie Dos tipos de cuidado. Here we go.
Arránquese. La gente dice sincera cada que se hace un casorio. Que el novio siempre la quiera, sino que le hagan velorio. Para esta novia no hay pena, pues va a tener buen marido. Porque bueno es cosa buena, por lo menos de apellido. Porque bueno es muy bueno, hijo de bueno también. Y su abuelo, ay qué bueno, quien se llamara como él.
Échenle, pero más arriba.
Procuraré ser tan bueno como dice mi apellido. Que se trague su veneno el que velorio ha pedido. Pedro es malo de apellido, retacharé su cuarteta. Él nomás es presumido porque no es malo, es maleta. Pedro malo, es muy malo, malo por obligación. Y su abuelo, uy, qué malo, hay que comprarle su león.
Okay. Oh, what a great pairing. I mean, what little research I do in advance of these videos, I learned that these two gentlemen were, goodness, kind of at the height of like golden age cinema at the time. I want to make sure I know who I'm talking about when I say someone's name. So, okay, so Jorge is the gentleman we heard second, and Pedro is the first one who sang. So, let's get into this.
Arránquese. La gente dice sincera cada que se hace un casorio.
He has this beautiful, natural, warm, velvety tone. It strikes me as more conversational, but only once we heard Jorge sing. I wasn't sure what differences we would hear between their voices, both in timbre but also in range. If I had to, again, I've heard a very small part of each of their voices, but it sounds to me as though Pedro is a true baritone and Jorge leans a little bit into that baritone range. Again, I don't know how much higher he may or may not sing, so it's possible he is a tenor, but his voice sits just a smidge higher.
Que el novio siempre la quiera, sino que le hagan velorio. Para esta novia no hay pena, pues va a tener buen marido.
Oh, I love that. Listen to that last O vowel.
Pues va a tener buen marido.
So he started it on the lower note, and I don't know how it's written in the music, but you'll hear that a lot in classical singing, but also older singing. Like when I think of singers from the 40s, 50s, 60s especially, you hear that sort of landing point before they ascend, and it's such a good technique to not only connect with your chest voice, but also to keep the vowel a certain way and stay in a certain register. We don't hear that as often today, so one more time.
Novia no hay pena, pues va a tener buen marido. Porque bueno es cosa buena, por lo menos de apellido. Jorge bueno, es muy bueno, hijo de bueno también, y su abuelo, ay qué bueno, quien se llamara como él.
Échenle, pero más arriba.
Okay, before he starts, I love the conversational approach that we heard in Pedro's voice, but I also love the character that he portrayed. He didn't allow singing to stop him from emoting and expressing, and I mean, that's always beautiful to see.
Procuraré ser tan bueno como dice mi apellido.
So already his voice definitely leans more in what I would consider a Western classical tradition. The vowels are a bit taller. There seems to be a bit more space in terms of registration. How do I say this? He's not allowing natural speaking patterns to influence how his voice moves through each register. So it's a little bit more contained. It sounds a little taller. And yet it's not so far removed from what we heard initially. So that's why I think, I don't know if I said this, but what a great pairing, because it's, again, their voices are different enough to distinguish between the two of them, for each of them to have their own character, but there are similarities that allow for a really great collaboration.
Que se trague su veneno, el que velorio ha pedido. Pedro es malo de apellido, retacharé su cuarteto.
I love how that sounded almost like a bit of a shout at first and then transitioned into something more sung.
Él nomás es presumido, porque no es malo, es maleta. Pedro malo, es muy malo, malo por obligación. Y su abuelo, uy, qué malo, hay que comprarle su león.
So you can hear a little bit more backspace in his sound as well, which was giving me the impression of something more in the classical tradition.
En una mañana de oro, alguien nublaba el paisaje. Eran un cuerpo.
It makes me want to watch this film. Even in this second verse for him, it's elegant and it's very suave. There's this really, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but that in contrast to the power that we hear in the other voice, it's just such a great back and forth.
Y un loro arrancándose el plumaje. Hay que olvidar lo pasado si la culpable es la suerte.
I think it was on the word pasado.
Hay que olvidar lo pasado.
So you can hear that ah vowel it's not ah, it's not super spread, but it's spread a little bit more than we might hear from the other singer, with more of an ah, like a taller ah sound instead of ah.
Si la culpable es la suerte, que bueno y malo mezclado en regular se convierte. Yo soy malo, no lo niego, pero quisiera mezclar malo y bueno, por si sale algo que sea regular. Cierto alacrán de carroña, un colmenar visitaba para ver si la ponzoña con la miel se le quitaba. Como no se da lo bueno para placer del malvado, Con la miel y su veneno, hoy anda el pobre purgado. Quien lo entienda, si es que lo sabe entender, y si acaso no lo entiende, hay que obligarlo a entender.
Jorge's voice seems to lean a little bit more forward in placement, which is attributing to some of the power that we hear because it's helping to project.
Te consta que no soy tonto como tú lo has presumido. Tonto no si entrometido por el hambre de amistades. El hambre siempre la calmo con el manjar del amigo. Mendigo es y no mendigo el que roba a sus amigos. Tú lo dices, lo sostengo, no te vayas a cansar. No le saques, si le saco, pues se acabó este cantar.
Apologies for the abrupt ending. What a great scene. I'm sure this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm not familiar with a lot of Mexican cinema, so you'll have to let me know what other singers I should be watching in film from that time. I was thinking of American film, and I mean, Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley come to mind. Mario Lanza might be a little closer to what we just saw, but I don't know. When you hear about triple threats, we don't experience that, or quadruple threats. I don't know what term is being used today. We don't always experience that in the same way in today's arts as was more common, in the 40s, 50s, 60s. Of course, we see many actors who sing and dance and whatnot, but maybe it's just this particular style of singing that I just find so grand and enjoyable and exciting to watch, and we don't get to hear that as often, which makes sense because times change, trends change. All that being said, truly two just spectacular voices. I loved the character that we saw from each of them, and even though I do feel the acting, the storytelling took precedent, there was just so much beauty in each voice. The techniques were really exciting to hear. I mean, I don't know. I'm just rambling on at this point, but long story short, I really enjoyed that. I might watch the whole movie, but of course, if you have other recommendations, please let me know. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for this recommendation and for watching with me, and hopefully I will see you next time.